All right, fellers, so my transmission hasn't been shifting correctly in my truck, so I did the right thing and I got some seat covers to put in it. Now, the company Cover Auto sent these out to me. I was a little bit skeptical at first because I told them a different style, so they sent me the wrong style. I'm pleasantly surprised at how nice these things are. Now, this wouldn't happen to you. The company was sending it to me, so I didn't place an order. It wasn't like I ordered a certain model and I got the wrong one. They were sending them out for free. There must have been a miscommunication and they sent me the wrong ones. But these are still like really nice. The ones I asked for had red piping. They were black, but they had red piping around the edges, and they have pretty much any color and style you could think of. I could have like changed the color completely. You know, there was all kinds of different styles. And I want to point out that these are more of a universal style car seat cover, so like mainly for SUVs. So this back seat, it doesn't really fit correctly, and I just made it fit. So this is like a split seat back here, and I don't think it actually goes down the whole way because my speakers sit right there. But I got them in there, and it covers the seats, and it actually looks half decent. They give you all kinds of different mounts and stuff, like a bunch of these round things here that you like just push back through the cushion, and then you flip it once it gets through and it holds it there. There's also little hooks. Those are for like the front of the seat and stuff like that. The front ones were really easy to put on. The back ones, being that they weren't made for this truck, they were a little harder to put on. But these front ones, they went on pretty nice, and I do like them. And I haven't sat in them yet, but they're like extra padded, and they fit really nice. And they do have airbag provisions on the side, so this will blow open and need be that you're in an accident. And I can say they're not scooting around at all. No, they're not bad at all. No, I like them. I got my seat all jacked up now because I was moving it around. I think they look pretty good. I like them. For a universal seat cover, they look really, really good. They have so many different styles, so if you want to get yourself a set of these Cover Auto seat covers, head down to the link in the description and go get yourself some. Also, while we're on the subject of this transmission in this thing, I did have like some snake oil, we'll say. I had this revitalization stuff, whatever, for transmission. It's like a gel, whatever. I put a little bit of that into this. This is not the fix. Don't do this. I only did this because there's still a possibility that I have to go pick up another car, and this is the only thing I have that I can pick it up with. So I'm kind of like in a tight spot. I did order my transmission pan gasket, all the fluids, the filters and stuff to service my transmission. It's a very great possibility that all I do is tow with this thing. It's got 84,000 miles on it. You're supposed to service this thing every 35 to 45,000 miles. 84,000 miles of a lot. Well, I only put 15,000 of that on. And they weren't all towing, but a lot of them were towing. This transmission needs serviced. So we're going to be switching out. I got, factory fluid, pan gasket, filter, and like I said, I threw that revitalization stuff in the transmission, and I did drive it, and it does seem better. But I'm only doing this because there's a possibility before I service this transmission, I'm going to have to pick up another car, and I don't want this transmission to blow. If I can give it any chance it can get, and I had that stuff in the garage already, I was like, well, I'm just going to throw this in there. It did seem to make it shift a little better and stuff. So I'm thinking when we do the full service, it's going to be good. I don't know if the filter might be partially plugged, all that dirt and stuff in there and debris. There's always a lot of shavings in those things when you service them, not like big chunks shavings, but just like it's almost like mud, but it's metallic, and the filter can get plugged up. It can get that in passageways and stuff like that. You service them. They're pretty easy on these things. You drop the pan. I'm actually going to pump fluid out through the dipstick hole till I get a good bit out before I drop the pan. That way I don't make a huge mess whenever I do drop it. Drop it like it's hot. But yeah, I do like those. I do like those. Now, if I was going to do it right, I would have put them in the Murano. I probably would have got different colors. The Muranos has nice seats and they're actually in really good condition. And I don't really want to put seat covers in that thing. I like the seats the way they are. Anyways, while we're taking a little walk, what I wanted to do today, I cannot do today. What we were gonna do was cut that front of that frame off and start grafting and stuff, but I want to be precise when I do that, and I decided to order a grid laser level that like puts a grid up so I can project that onto the car frame and the whole structure, take measurements, get it in the same exact spot, and then I can actually trace that out where I need to cut, so it'll be identical when I cut them both. So when I'm saying that, this side right here, I don't have to worry about that. We're gonna cut the spot welds out of this thing, and out of this, we're gonna take this whole frame rail section part off, and I really need to look into it and see how this bottom ties in, because I need that whole bottom, and I don't know how I want to go about it. I really don't want to save that piece I left up there. But for over here on this section where the battery tray is and stuff like that, I want to line it up on there. I want to make a precise cut or a measurement, and then make the exact same measurement on that by doing, measuring where the lines are and everything from top to bottom. And then that level is going to have a perfect straight line that I can project on all of that if I put it at the right angle on both of them. So I'll do the whole inside, and then we can cut that. Then we can go around to the outside, and we can see where we had the cut lines at, put the grid on the outside, make a precise line on that, down on the outside on both pieces, and then we can cut it, and we should be able to line that up and graft it on. That's just my thought process. I hope that. Another thing I thought about when I do that, since I am doing the frame rail section, is where the tubes are at, actually tacking some metal on the inside of like the piece we're putting on, so it actually slots in. Put it in there, and that way it'll keep it lined up whenever we put it on. It'll be a little extra metal in the frame, as we would say, make it a little stronger. So I think what we're gonna do on this video is all of the engine work that needs to be done. So timing belt, water pump, valve covers. I already did the rear covers on that thing and a bunch of other stuff, but I got a lot of parts. Power steering pump, I got a rebuild kit for that. We're gonna do that. We could probably also start dropping the subframe. I want to power wash the one I got because it's very grimy, but I want to keep this power steering rack because it's lower miles than this one, and that one's really grimy looking. So I'd rather just keep this steering rack. Now let me show you the difference in the control arm suspension. I got everything kind of like bunched up right now because I had to get the dolly out of here, and that was fun to do. So I do have a brand new control arm inside of there. It's got the brand new bushing right there. That's what I was talking about. Now this is an Outback control arm. Look at the bushing on this one. That's where all your lift comes from. That and the shock itself, that would cause the lift that you get with the Outback. So being that I didn't take all the suspension and stuff, and I didn't want to, like, you know what I mean, throw these on. It's not going to be correct. I'm going to take the tires off. I have them back here. I'm going to take those tires off, and I'm going to order tires that are going to be a correct size for this thing, comparable to these, but on 16-inch wheels. That's what they are. These are 14-inch, these steel wheels. Two 25 45 17 or a 50 17 was a tad bit bigger, but I would go that route. I think they were cheaper, and I think that's the way we're going to go. What were the width on these ones? I think these ones were 225s. 225 60 16. So we're going to go to a 225 50 16, or we can even go a little skinnier. Those tires are wider than the rim, so maybe we ought to go a little bit skinnier too. Like do like a 215 50 16. I'm confused now. But I'll take those off and then I'll get those listed online, and hopefully they'll sell. That'll be a little bit of money back in my pocket. But we do need to get chomping on this thing. So let's drag the motor out here. You know what? I have that lift table. Why don't we either the lift table or I have the welding table. I don't think the welding table, I don't know if the welding table's strong enough to hold this engine. It should be. I mean, in a sense, I think that should be strong enough to hold that engine up. Let me decide. Let me see what I'm doing here. We got a lot of work to do, boy. All right, so not all these things are going on right this moment. Some of this stuff goes on later, but I got two different styles of front cam gear seals because there's two different styles. This one has O-rings, this one doesn't. And as cheap as they were, I'm like, I mean, these look like they're the same, but there's O-rings with this. I don't know. Power steering pump rebuild kit was like $10. I don't remember much of the other ones. The most expensive thing here was the timing belt kit. Intake manifold gaskets, and there's also exhaust gaskets here. Those aren't going on right now, so that's a later time. Spark plugs, we are going to take spark plugs out. That way we can tell where cylinder what. Well, I can see, you know what, this thing has had a timing belt before because there's timing marks. So it has a genuine Subaru timing belt. So Subaru, I mean, years ago may have did this. Or somebody might have just bought factory stuff. But yeah, there's a mark there and a mark here. Looks like it's been a long time. But oh yeah, you can see that there's a notch. And there's a notch there. Let me see if this belt is marked. I don't think they marked these. So there's 4 different tensioners and idler gears here. Let me see. Yeah. These belts are not marked. Now, I'll show you what I do whenever I do a timing belt. You got to look at your stuff. Being that this is so old, this might have been a belt that sat on the shelf that whole time. I can tell by looking at this. This is not an old belt. Like, this isn't. This was made, I wonder if there's a date on it. The date on here is 6/29/25. So, it was this year. And I know that's not when I ordered it. So, it's pretty fresh. With everything timed up. Then we'll count the teeth on the old belt. We'll mark the same teeth on the new belt. And that way, when we line everything up, we can line it up just with the marks. It's really, you know, it's not that bad. I mean, you can go by the marks, but if you mark it before you take it apart, you really take all the guesswork out of it. You don't look at it and go, I'm not sure. And also that mark, it's going to line up with this mark on this cover. So there's a notch there and a notch there, and that's where that's going to line up. gee, looks familiar. So I've been here before. We've all been here before. No, we haven't all been here. I have been here before. The only thing different is this time I don't have the intake manifold on, and I'm doing cam seals this time. Probably doesn't need cam seals, but I have them. We're gonna do them. I'm a little iffy with doing them just because I know, you know, if there's a chance that I might mess up the new ones and then it might leak. I don't like that. My gimbal still isn't right after all this. It's better. It's way better, but it wants to drift on me, and it's hard for me to keep it where I want it. Yeah, this belt's still in really good condition. Everything's in good condition. I can't believe it had the timing done already though. It with 87,000. Just, that's weird. I don't feel like that's right. So while we are going to take spark plugs out here in a minute, and then we'll check. I got this, oh shoot. We gotta get a different spacer. I got spacers. I'm gonna use different ones here. There we go. Just gonna put these spacers on, that way I can see everything. I'm gonna crank this motor over and put it in what I think is top dead center. We'll figure it out when I get the two cam gears lined up here, then we'll see where it lines up. We'll figure it out. All right, so I'm fairly certain we have it at top dead center, but I'm gonna show you what I'm looking at here. So, lined this notch up with this one, this notch up with that one, and then they marked the gear, but this spins with the gear back here, these teeth back here. There's a notch in that, right on that one right there. There you go. That should be top dead center. Like I said, we're gonna get in here, tear this apart here. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take the cylinder 1 spark plug out, and then we're gonna see if the piston's at the top. Also, I could pull the valve cover, because that's where you're gonna see if the cam lobes are lined up. Top dead center should be just before the intake valve opens up. First thing I want to do is take these valve covers off here. That'll give us a better view of everything. Valve covers like this are nice. 3 bolts. This is probably gonna make a mess. Before it makes a total mess, bolts are loose, but it's not leaking yet. I'm gonna put some rags right here underneath it and move my TV remote and all this stuff, because I think it's gonna make a mess. Could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. It'd be nice. Oh, would you look at that? I have the motor tilted up, so these valve covers really don't look that bad, but they were leaking. Yeah, they're leaking. Oh man, look at the inside of that motor, boy. She is clean. Look, even the inside of the valve cover. Like, for an old Subaru, like that's really, really clean. That's nice. Very nice. I'm not throwing these in yet. What are these? Got these big seals. What do they go to? Intakes are loose. So it's on intake stroke right now. Let's crank it over. I can tell you for sure when cylinder 1 is at top dead center just by cranking it over. Yeah, cylinder one was at top dead center because the intake valves were starting to open. On compression stroke now, then the exhaust valves should be opening here any second. Right there. Exhaust valves. Intakes are loose. Now you can adjust these, but I'll tell you what, that adjustment feels correct to me, just by feel. So the intakes are starting to open right there. Right there is a top dead center. Yeah, the intakes starting to open. So there we go. Man, this engine's clean. I like that. I really like that. Let's go ahead and take these spark plugs. And spark plugs don't even look that old. So take a look at how clean the inside of this engine is. Look at these spark plugs. I'm changing them, But them suckers look new. We need to see. I want to take one out. I want to see what they look like, because I guarantee you they're not going to look like that on the inside. But yeah, let me get a couple of those out and let's check them out. All right, so they aren't new, but that's a large gap. I'm pretty sure that's too much of a gap. They don't look, or they don't appear to be too old, but the threads are gummed up or whatever. Take this one out too, see what it looks like. Here's this one. That's a large gap. I'm telling you, that's not, it's definitely supposed to be tighter than that. This thing will run so much better, gapped better. Let me get these new plugs out. Let's take a gander at them. Same exact plug that I just took out of it. NGK-Rs. Let me see what the gap looks like on a brand new one. Yeah. The gap on that new one is a lot smaller than the gap on the old one. Both of them. It's even worse on that one. So these are recommending anywhere from 0.039 to 0.045. 0.40 is what's recommended. Right here's where I just gapped this one at. Could be a little tighter. There we go. Gonna throw that in. Actually, I'm gonna get an air nozzle and blow those holes out a little bit. Should have did that beforehand. Ha ha ha. There she blows. As for tightening spark plugs, right there, that washer just seated. I'm gonna go until it gets tight. So we're crushing that seal washer right there. It's tight. I'm stopping there. Now I got this socket that's, I need to put some sort of lubricant on this socket because it's got a rubber collar in there that grips the spark plug. Now I can't get it out. Why? Next spark plug, let's check it. Pretty close to where the last one was. Pretty close. Hopefully this one will release a little easier. Okay, the washer just touched. There, it got tight. Now, give me my socket back, you dirty. All right, let's see where these old plugs are at. About 58 on that one. About 54 on that one. Actually, it's 53. The other one would have been, yeah. So these spark plugs were out of spec. They probably were the original spark plugs. I don't know. They're in pretty good shape though. I'm going to use a little bit of brake clean on my clean rag. I did wipe that valve cover, the mating surface, but I'm going to do it again with brake clean. Just make sure it's all clean. It's actually this is surprisingly clean for this year. This is not something you commonly see. Typically, if you would get into a 98 Legacy engine, at this point in time, in 2025, it's not going to look like this. Like, that's so freaking nice. Now, the next problem I see is these gaskets I got do not look like they're they're like flat. This is what it's supposed to look like. So this is gonna be fun. It's still in really good shape. It was leaking though. All right. So I don't know how I'm gonna be able to tell which one's which. I don't know what those are for. I don't know which one's which. How I'm supposed to figure out which one's which. They're really. I think this might be for this one. They don't even look like they're correct. Like this one's got a dip in it. There's no dip in this cover. Maybe this is the correct one. Is there a dip in this one? Did I get the wrong ones? This one's got a dip in it too. This cover does not have a dip in it. I did not get the correct valve cover gaskets. Oh, great. There was a half-year split on the gaskets. I apparently got from 6 of 98 forward, and this was from 5 of 98 before. That's what this engine should be. So this is an early 98 engine. There's a half year. So I got the wrong thing. The valve covers must be completely different on the newer ones. So that's fun. That's always a fun thing to do. Yeah. So that's where we're at on this. So I have to wait until I get my new valve cover gaskets. I opened this up. I don't think they're going to take it back. I don't know. Honestly, until I pay the postage to send this back, I'm probably pretty much going to be out what I paid for this. So this is going to go on the part shelf for maybe a later use. I don't foresee myself getting another older Subaru. I don't. Just telling you, this was probably the last chance you're going to get to see this. But, I mean, there's stuff in here I could probably use. I should have looked at the engine first before I ordered them and noticed, oh, okay, that kit comes with 5 bolt seals, and these valve covers only have 3. Yeah, so my fault, my bad. All right, this is a good point to mark the belt. I do have it at top dead center. I see why they marked off to the side, because that's a little off to the side of the notch on the belt. But I'm going to go ahead and mark. That's one of the notches on the belt. This is between 2 notches. So I'm going to mark both these. This one is in between. It's in a groove. Why is that one? That one's on a notch. This one's in a groove, and this one's in a groove. Whatever. Anyways, I took pictures of all this stuff. Time to pop this stuff off. Do I have that? I don't know that. I just have these pieces for it. I don't have whatever this whole mechanism is. I don't know what that is. I don't have that. But I got the pulley portion. This is the most important portions of this, but that one looks like you can put a pin through it to put it up. What is going, what? Did I get a wrong timing belt kit or what? I got an eccentric one here too. That don't look correct either. That ain't any of these pulleys. Oh, great. I got the wrong timing belt kit as well. Tell me I did. I think I did. I'm pretty certain. I got one eccentric bolt here. And none of these are eccentric. Well, we ain't doing this today. Way to go me. Way to go me. I done screwed up greatly. We will be sending those valve cover. Hopefully they'll take them. I opened them up. But yeah, we will be sending them back. Is this water pump correct? Let me look at this water pump real quick. Because if I ordered all that stuff wrong, yeah. Yeah, I think we're good on the water pump. Everything else, though, way to go, me. Way to go. I can't believe I did that. This is life. I have just made the executive decision that we are not changing the timing belt or the water pump or any of this. It is Subaru. It has been changed at one point in time. It is in really good shape. I'm leaving it. I did order the right valve cover gaskets, so we are going to be doing that. But yeah, it's at this point, the amount of money I have in this thing, it's not worth it for me to do this, especially when everything is actually in really good shape. On top of that, these aren't interference engines. So if the belt does snap, the engine's not done for. So it's for the risk, it's not even worth it for me to spend the money now to do this, knowing this. You got to stop somewhere. I got too much money in this thing. I'm doing a return on the water pump, cam seals, all that stuff. We will be doing the new intake gaskets and the exhaust gaskets and stuff like that. But I got to call it somewhere. There's two different style timing setups. The last engine I did was this timing setup. This one's totally different. This tensioner is totally different on these two. I don't know if the belt length is different. It looks like this pulley, like this sprocket here, this pulley, this one are right in the kit. The belt appears right, but I don't know. And this is totally different. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Listen, I'm drinking and I'm watching football, so y'all gonna have to bear with me right now. So we are gonna have to switch from the engine to the suspension at this part. Wait, what is my gimbal? It's still messed up. We're gonna have to switch. I'm trying to do, we're gonna do this subframe. We're gonna do control arms and the rear suspension. I got the control arms for that. I got all new. Brand new. Rock Auto, I'm not really happy with the return process on that. So as it sits right now, I'm returning everything. I went to return it, and I have to return it to 4 different warehouses. So I have to pay return fees on 4 different packages. So it's making it more expensive for me to send it back. I gotta weigh my options and make sure that I'm not paying more to send some of these items back than just keeping them. I think the one cam seals I'm going to end up keeping because they were like $5. I think the shipping is going to be more than that. So we'll see what happens, but it's not feasible right now. Needless to say, though, it was $225 that whole order, and I'm returning most of that stuff from that order. At least $200 back in my pocket, and that's going to pay for the tires that I have to get for this thing. So it's worth it for me to return those items. So that's what we're going to do. Before I put this subframe in, I would like to power wash it, and I need to take the whole power steering rack out because I don't want to use it. I'm going to use the one that's in this car because it's a lot better. Also, I need to suspend the transmission and put my jack or engine hoist, not engine hoist, but engine support on that to jack that up. Because right now it's only being held up with a plastic mount, and then the subframe, it's sitting on the subframe right now. So if I take that subframe out, that's going to be bad. All right, I switched cameras. I actually have 2 of these cameras. The gimbal was really screwing up on me. I'm going to strip this subframe, then I'm going to take it out and power wash it. I'm going to use Super Clean, spray it all down, power wash it. Should look pretty good. Then we can drop this and swap everything over. Should be good. I have the rear control arms too, so we can also swap those out. Hopefully these bolts come out a lot easier than the parts one I had. And I don't think they're gonna be bad. I think they're gonna be real easy to swap over. Yeah, they're not hardly rusty at all compared to that other one. I think they're gonna come out pretty easy. So Not too bad. Brand new. I got brand new. This, and this. As you can see, bent. Look at the angle on it. Look at the camber. I also got both output seals for the transmission. I'm in there. I got the axles out. I'm like, let's just replace them. They also look like they were leaking as well. Brand new, 20 some bucks. Can't beat it. Brand new bushings, everything nice and new. There's a little bit of difference there, just a tad bit. Another one. Oh, they're a little different. I was just getting ready to throw the subframe in, and I realized, you know what, this is a perfect time to throw these output seals in. Now, there's a left and a right. The seals are different. It's because they rotate the same direction. If the seals were the same direction, one would leak, one wouldn't. So I marked them. I made sure that I got the right part number, and I marked which one was which. All right, so they're two different brands, unfortunately. But I did mark this one left. I wanted to make sure I knew that was the left. This is the right. So if you're sitting in the vehicle, the driver's side is the left one. The passenger side is the right one. All you got to do is get in there, pop it out. And then tap the new one in. Find a socket that fits your output seal, the correct size. Put a little grease on it. I gotta wash my. Look at this. Look at this. You don't want to put seals in when your hands look like this. I'm going to go clean up. Then I'm going to come back out. I'm going to put a little bit of silicone around the outside of the seal. That helps lubricate and seal as it goes in. There was definitely a leak there. Both sides, it's wet below the output seal. There is also a possibility that the bearings in there might not be good, and that's why it leaked, because it blew the seal out. We're going to take these out and we're going to put new ones in. And hope that it seals. Hopefully. Well, I guess that's what I get for watching YouTube videos. I watched a YouTube video and I swear that guy just put a seal puller in there, popped the seals out, put the new ones in. It's not how it works on this one. There's pre-tension. Those outer covers are the bearing race, and that's the tension on the bearings. So I probably did tighten those up a little bit. Plus I put the new seals in. I did really scar up the passenger side one. I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to be fine. It should be fine. The new seals are in both sides. You have to take that cap off and pop the seals out from the back side. They sit against an edge on the inside, so you have to tap them out from the outside in. So, lesson learned. All right, let's put the subframe up in now. So forgive me if this camera drifts on me because this is the old one again. I had to switch back. Battery was running low. This should be a cakewalk compared to what I just did. Check this out. I knew this ain't the way to go about it. I kept spraying this thing down with brake fluid, it's exhaust. The exhaust shield's just soaked with gear oil, and I don't know why. It just keeps dripping out. Anyway, what we're gonna do now, well, this subframe looks nice now that I cleaned this thing off. There's a little bit of dirt on it, but man, much improved. So the only thing left to do is those two control arms right there. So this, like I said, should be a cakewalk, but I'm not going to count it out because there's a possibility that it could kick my butt just like the other one did. So I'm going to take the wheels off, then hopefully take the bolts out, swap them out, and it'll be done. And that's all we are getting done for this episode. So let's go ahead and swap these suckers out. So where this is not normal practice for me to avoid doing something. It's not that I am avoid doing this timing belt. It's just that I have way too much in this budget build. I'm going to have as much in it as what I'm going to be asking for it. And that's the thing. I can't ask more. It's an old car. So I have to like be mindful. And I'm looking at the subframe and I'm not seeing anything bent on here. I mean, it would be this side. I guess maybe it looks a little bent where that control arm bolts on. Because this would be the bent side over here. Yeah, I do think it's a little bent there. But really, that's something I probably could have just bent back into place. But being that we had the parts, it was much easier just to unbolt and bolt another one in without doing guessing work. This one was not in an accident. And now it's clean and it looks really good in there. So, there you go. It's done. Now we got the new control arm on. That's looking nice. Yeah, everything's looking good. For reference, here's what the old control arm looks like. Right here. And this is the bushing that I said I was just gonna get a new control arm. Use the control arm off the Outback and then get one of these bushings, because this bushing is actually twisted. If you look at it right, it's a little bit twisted. It's a little bit mangled down here in the back. You can see just from being twisted like it was. I didn't want to reuse it. I wanted to get a new one that wasn't bent. So $36 for one of those, or $42 for the whole control arm with a new one. And that's what we ended up doing. And it looks so much better. But everything's bolted in tight, good. Steering knuckles in tight. I didn't hook the power steering lines back up yet, but that's gonna be fine because I still have to do work to that pump. So there you go, kids. Whenever you're down in the dumps or you think you're down and out, there's always something you can do, okay? So I went from thinking I had nothing that I could do to knocking out a whole bunch of suspension work that I would have had to do in a later date. You got to keep working. So we got all that suspension work done. That's one last thing we have to worry about in the end. Next video, I'm hoping to be able to hack this messed up section off of here with the grid laser level that I'm getting. Once we get this off of here, then we can work on this piece over here and getting it all separated and ready to mount to the car itself. I decided I'm going to use this whole apron here. I'm going to use all of this. That means I have to take all these spot welds out that are around this frame rail section here, and then I need to figure out how to get that frame rail section out without harming this bottom section here. And then I also need to, so all of this back here needs to come off, and all of this over here needs to come off on this side. I want to start fresh, so we're going to be trying to graft all of this on there. We'll have to do measurements from like all the holes that are left on one here to make sure that grid's where we want it, and then we're going to have to do the same measurements on that piece when we do it. And I think that's going to work out good for us. But anyways, I'm tired. If you guys like this video, smash that like button, consider subscribing. Hit that dislike button if your mom wants me to blow her ball joints out. And we'll see you on the next episode on Wreck.
Why are you running from me? Why you run from Daddy? It's just a camera. It's just a camera. Oh yeah, that's good for the video. He says you can't put any in there.
Well, we're gonna move them. That's where the poop bucket is.
What are you doing, little kitty? Why won't you grow?
That's onyx, remember?
Onyx. Theo's rubbing on Stewie. He just rubbed on Stewie.
No.
I'm really surprised to see you out here, little girl, because
I was cooking.
oh, is that
I had
why
chicken out.
you know where the food's at? Say bye-bye.
She likes